Hello friends, we have covered the part 1 of unit number 5 flow through pipes in the last lecture, that is losses in pipes. Now let us cover the second part of the unit number 5, that is siphon and pipes in series and pipes in parallel. Now let us understand the objective of using siphon first. Now siphon is a long bent pipe used to transfer liquid from a reservoir at a higher location to another reservoir at a lower level when these two reservoirs are separated by a hill or high level ground. It is as shown in figure. Now, from the figure, it is clear that there is a tank A and tank B which are having some elevation difference. Naturally, the tank A is having higher energy than tank B. So water will naturally flow from A to B. But there is a long bent pipe used in between A and B. Now remember, this pipe is long as it is given in the definition because you are using siphon for the large distance to be covered. So if you want to carry water from a dam to a city, then in between that there is certain hill or high level ground or ground levels are high between these two. That's why in that case you have to use the long pipes, and as the pipes are longer, hence the major loss also you have to consider during that pipe. Many times the minor losses are neglected because the length of the pipe is very high or it is very large. Now let us see the working of siphon. If you see in the figure, there is a point C, capital C, at the top of the hill or the mountain, which is called as a summit. The point C is called as a summit. Summit is nothing but it is a point which is at the highest level in the siphon. Why the point summit is having importance, that is very essential to know the importance of point C, because the point C, if you see, it is at a higher level than point A. So that does not mean that it will have higher energy than point A. Basically, as you go on increasing the level of point, okay, above the ground, then the pressure goes on decreasing. And the pressure goes on decreasing, and the same uh, pressure decrement phenomenon we are going to utilize in the siphon, because if the pressure goes on decreasing, there will be vacuum created, and with the help of that vacuum the water in the tank A will be attracted towards the point C because of the vacuum, and it will be taken to the point C, and after C it will flow normally to the point B. Okay, see, siphon, it is not created by a what we can say, siphon is also an inherent problem, means in between point A and B there is a hill or mountain. That's why you have to use the pipelines, okay, which will be going across these hills and mountains. But here we have made use of certain points at the top of the mountain on hill where the pressure decreases and that vacuum is created at that point C, and because of the vacuum the water is sucked at point C and then it is carried further. So it is a useful phenomenon to carry water naturally from tank A to B. We need not to provide pump, okay, for carrying water from A to B. So this is very important term, okay, which is used for carrying water without using any external source of energy. Now We have seen that the point C is called as a summit. It is above the point A, and that's why its pressure is below atmospheric pressure. As you go above the datum level, the pressure goes on decreasing. Hence, the pressure goes on decreasing. Theoretically, you can go up to the minimum pressure, which is called as a vapor pressure. Okay, vapor pressure of water. You can't fall below the vapor pressure of water. If the pressure is below vapor pressure, then there will be a phenomenon called as a cavitation. That's why there is a limitation up to what height the point C should be there. The point C cannot go below the vapor pressure head. Okay, it should be always above the vapor pressure head. So here the limiting value is minus 10.3 meter of water absolute. Okay, and sorry, minus 10.3 meter of water, which is the atmospheric pressure of water. And if you calculate, that is 10.3 minus the 7.6 meter. 7.6 meter is nothing but you are the negative pressure, that is the vapor pressure of water. Above that, always your pressure should be there inside the or the at the point C. So here it is coming as 2.7 meter of water absolute. So in this case, 7.6 is the vacuum pressure or gauge pressure, and 2.7 is the absolute pressure. Okay, so you should not go below 7.6 meter of water, or that is the vacuum pressure of water. So it should be always above the 2.7 meter of water. So you will see in the numerical accordingly. It is given that if the pressure at sea becomes less than 2.7 meter of water absolute, the dissolved air and other gases would come from water and collect at the summit, and there will be a formation of vapor bubbles causing cavitation. So siphon is used in the following cases, that is to carry water from one reservoir to another reservoir separated by hill or mountain, to take out water from a liquid tank which is not having any outlet, right? Sometimes you are using a tube, okay, to suck water from a higher level tank, okay, from one side, okay. You are um, taking of water, okay, or you are creating a vacuum to take the water from the tank, okay, at a higher level, if the tank which is not having any outlet, okay. In that case you are using siphon. That is a simple phenomenon happening in day to day life. Okay, let us see first numerical on the siphon. Mm, in this case we are going to use the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, why? Because if you see in this figure, point A, B and C. Okay, point A is open to atmosphere, point B is also open to atmosphere. So you can apply the Bernoulli's equation between point A and B. That is P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 is equal to P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2. Okay, plus losses happening between A and B. Okay, all major and minor losses. In many cases, minor losses are neglected. So you can consider the major loss. HF is equal to 4FLV square by 2GD. Point C is the point where you have to calculate the pressure. Okay, what is the pressure at point C? Now we know that there is a vacuum pressure, but what is the amount of pressure? Because there is some limitation to the height of C. The height is shown as small h. Okay, up to what height the point C will be there or it should be there, that is to be decided, because you can't go beyond the vapor pressure. Okay, so you should be always the pressure should not fall below the vapor pressure of water. Okay, that's why there is a limitation to point C. Okay, otherwise it may be kept at any height. No, it is not like that. You should have some limitation on point C to avoid cavitation. So because the point A and B are open to atmosphere, so with the help of Bernoulli's equation you can find the velocity inside the pipe. Okay, from that Bernoulli's equation, once you get the velocity, and using that velocity you can again apply the Bernoulli's equation between point A and C to find the pressure at point C. So that is the general aim, to find the vacuum pressure inside the or at the point C or summit of the siphon. So let us see the numerical in detail. A siphon of diameter 200 millimeter connects two reservoirs having a difference in elevation as 20 meter. The length of siphon is 500 meter. Summit is 3 meter above the water level in the upper reservoir. The length of pipe from upper reservoir to the summit is 100 meter. Determine the discharge through the siphon and also pressure at the summit. So we have to calculate pressure. So I have already told you that you have to use the Bernoulli's equation. First across the 2 points A and B, and then across the point A and C. Okay, and neglect minor losses. It is given that you have to neglect the minor losses. The coefficient of friction is 0.005. So here we are going to consider only the major loss. Okay, so let us try to solve this. Let us write the given data. Diameter of siphon is 0.2 meter. Height or the pressure, difference in the level, that is the potential head difference, is given as 20 meter between tank A and B, and the length of the siphon which is used to connect A and B is 500 meter. Okay, near about half kilometer. Height of summit from upper reservoir, okay, it is given now 3 meter. Okay, now let us, we have to check whether this 3 meter will create cavitation or not. That is very important. Otherwise you have to reduce that height 3 meter. Okay, so for that you have to find the vacuum pressure at point C, and that is our aim to find. Length of the siphon up to summit is also given 100 meter, because that will be required to calculate the friction loss from point A to C. Coefficient of friction, that is also given to F is equal to 0.005. Now in this numerical, the minor losses are to be neglected. Then the loss of head takes place due to friction only. Applying Bernoulli's equation to points capital A and B. Okay, first we'll see PA by rho g plus VA square by 2g plus ZA is equal to PB by rho g plus VB square by 2g plus ZB plus loss of head due to friction from A to B. Okay, so it is PA by rho g, it is atmospheric pressure, and PB by rho g, it is also atmospheric pressure. Both are 0. So that's why it is PA by rho g plus VA square by 2g, both will become 0. And ZA is there. ZA will be 20 meter as compared to ZB, and VB square by 2g will also be 0. So there is no pressure, no velocity in this equation. Only there will be the determinate difference ZA minus ZB, and that will be equal to the loss of head 4FL V square by 2GD. So if you see from the given calculations, ZA minus ZB, which is equal to 20 meter, that is equal to HF 4FLV square by 2GD. If you put the value, all the values of F, L and D in the given equation, you will get the velocity. Velocity is equal to 2.80 meter per second. Once you get the velocity, you will get the discharge, because discharge is also asked to calculate. So discharge is coming as 0.0879 meter cube per second, or 87.9 liter per second. And the pressure at the summit, that is at the point C, we have to find. So you have to apply the Bernoulli's equation between point A and C. Again, PA by rho g plus VA square by 2g plus ZA is equal to PC by rho g plus VC square by 2g plus ZC plus loss of head HF between point A and C. So it is again PA by rho g 0, VA square by 2g 0, ZA compared to ZC, it is 0. Okay, because ZC minus ZA is 3 meter. PC by rho g, it is the vacuum now, so it cannot be taken as 0. V square by 2g, it is the velocity, already we have found in the pipe, plus 3 meter, that is the ZC value compared to ZA, plus HF, that is loss of head, friction head, that is a 4 FLV square by 2GD, and that is also known to us now, because the length of the summit from the point A is given as 100 meter. So once you put all the values, you will get the value of PC by rho g, that is the pressure head at point C, and it is negative, as we know that it is a vacuum above the pressure, above the atmospheric pressure, below the atmospheric pressure. So it is coming as minus 7.399 meter of water, and it is the negative value, so vacuum. And if you take the or if you calculate the absolute pressure by adding the atmospheric pressure 10.3 minus 7.39, okay, so it will come, I think it will come above 2.3 meter of water, absolute pressure of water, and hence it is a what we can say, um, it is okay to have the vacuum pressure of minus 7.399. Okay, so it should not be what you can say, um, uh, it should not fall below the vapor pressure of water. Okay, so it is a favorable condition, what we can say, that you can have the pressure as minus 7.399. Our condition is minus 7.6. It should not be gone behind 7.6, minus 7.6. If it is going less than 7.6, then there will be problem. So now it is above 7.6, or you can say minus 7.399 is greater value than minus 7.6, so you are in safe zone. Okay, if it would have been coming as a minus 7.8 or minus 7.9 meter of water, then the phenomenon of cavitation would have been started. So we are in safe zone, and we can use this height of 3 meter for this numerical. Okay, so have you understood the purpose of siphon? So the siphon is very useful, okay, for carrying water. Okay, but you have to take care what should be the maximum height of the point summit. So now let us move toward the second portion, that is the pipes in series and pipes in parallel. Okay, uh, depending upon the applications, for long pipes, okay, where you cannot use a single pipe, okay, because there will be losses involved under that, so you have to make some branching of the pipe, and that branching is made depending upon the application of the uh, application. That is nothing but whether you want higher discharge or whether you want higher pressure. Okay, we know that if you increase the discharge, then the pressure will decrease. If you decrease the discharge, then the pressure will be recovered, or pressure will be uh, more. So vice versa. So if you want a higher discharge, then you will go for pipes in parallel. If you want higher pressure head to be recovered, then you will go for pipes in series. Okay, so now let us see what do you mean by pipes in series and pipes in parallel. So in short, pipes in series, it is the discharge remains constant and the head goes on increasing. Okay, so if you see in the figure, this is pipes are connected in series 1, 2, 3. So Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to Q3, and the discharge is Q only, same discharge. And the loss of head, that is a friction head, generally it is HF1 plus HF2 plus HF3. Loss of head goes on adding in each pipe. Okay, while in case of pipes in parallel, the discharge will be divided as a Q1, Q2 and Q3, and the loss of head will remain same for each pipe. Okay, so that is HF1 is equal to HF2 is equal to HF3, because loss of head depends on the length of the pipe, okay, and the diameter of the pipe. As far as the length and diameter of each pipe is same, the loss of head will be same across the all the pipes. Only the discharge will be divided. Okay, so total discharge will be Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Now let us see some um numericals as well as theory for pipes in series and pipes in parallel. So if you see in the figure, uh, when you connect the pipes in series from tank A to tank B, okay, there are three pipes connected. Okay, the pipe 1, 2 and 3 having varying diameters as well as variable lengths. Now why there is need of varying this diameter and length? Why we can't use only single pipe, okay, of one diameter and a common length? Now the reason behind this is that if you use a single pipe of long length, okay, then there is a there is a loss of head due to friction or major loss, because major loss is a function of length. Okay, if more is the length and the same coefficient of friction is there, so it depends on the length of the pipe, and that's why it will be higher, major loss will be more. So to reduce the major loss, you are dividing that pipes into some sections, so that it will include the major loss as well as minor loss, because major loss mm, you can decrease by increasing the diameter and decreasing the length across each pipe, and minor losses, they are less compared to the major loss. So the major loss is decreased mainly by keeping the pipes in series. Okay, and that's it. That is the main reason why you are using the pipes in series, okay, to reduce the major loss. Okay, so if you see, we have to use the theory behind the pipes in series, that when the pipes are in series, the discharge remains same. So q is equal to q1 is equal to q2 is equal to q3. Okay, so for all pipes the discharge is same. A1 v1 is equal to a2 v2 is equal to a3 v3. And if you use the Bernoulli's equation between point A and B, then it will be again PA by rho g plus VA square by 2g plus ZA is equal to PB by rho g plus VB square by 2g plus ZB plus HL, the loss of head. Now all the terms PA, VA, PB, VB will be 0 for both the tanks. Only there will be ZA minus ZB, which is capital H, and that capital H will be equal to all the losses. That is nothing but minor loss plus major loss. That losses you have to consider while calculating the datum head difference. Okay, so the datum head difference is nothing but only the losses, okay, between point A and B. It is simply solved. That is, if you solve that Bernoulli's equation, you will get capital H is equal to first 0.5 v1 square by 2g, that is the entrance loss, plus 4 f1 l1 v1 square by 2g d1, that is friction loss across pipe 1, plus 0.5 v2 square by 2g, that is the contraction loss across the pipe 1 to 2. Then 4f2 l2 v2 square by 2g d2, that is the friction loss again in pipe 2, plus expansion loss from pipe 2 to 3, that is v2 minus v3 bracket square by 2g, plus the friction loss 4f3 l3 v3 square by 2g d3, plus the exit loss from pipe 3. So all types of losses, major as well as minor losses, are considered in this case, and you will find the value of H. If all these coefficient of friction f1 f2 f3, they are equal, then the formula is simply reducing to 4f upon 2g into bracket l1 v1 square by d1 plus l2 v2 square by d2 plus l3 v3 square by d3. Okay, and that is a famous equation that is called as the Dupuit's equation, okay, of this form. So you have to derive this equation, okay, if you have been asked to calculate the, or you have been asked to obtain the Dupuit's equation expression. Okay, now let us see a numerical based on these pipes in series. The difference in water level is given, that is uh, there are three pipes, okay, in series of length 300 meter, 170 meter and 210 meter. Diameters are 0.3 meter, 0.2 meter and 0.4 meter, and the difference in the datum is given as 12 meter. Okay, determine the rate of flow of water if coefficient of frictions. Now coefficient of friction are different, 0.005, 0.0052 and 0.0048 respectively. Now once you have to consider minor losses, and other you have to neglect the minor losses. Okay, only you have to consider the major losses. Okay, so let us see the formula already we know, okay, to calculate the velocity. Okay, because H is given, capital H is given, so you have to first calculate the velocity. So here a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2 is equal to a3 v3, same discharge because pipes in series. So you will get the relation between v1 and v2, and you will get the relation between v1 and v3. So putting that value of v2 and v3 in terms of v1, because then you will get the value of v1. Okay, in the formula capital H is equal to entrance loss plus friction loss across pipe 1 plus expansion loss, contraction loss plus friction loss across pipe 2 plus expansion loss plus friction loss across pipe 3 plus exit loss. Okay, so all these losses and the values given, if you put in the formula, you will be given capital H as 12, which is equal to 0.5 into v1 square by 2g plus 4f1 l1 v1 square by 2g d1 plus 0.5 into v2 that you have to express in terms of v1, and Again v3 you have to express in terms of v1, putting all the values of v2 and v3 in terms of v1, you will get the value of v1 as 1.407 meter per second. Once you get the value of v1, you can calculate the discharge, that is area into velocity, a1 v1, and that is coming as 0.09945 meter cube per second, or 99.45 liters per second. So this is about the first part of the numerical. Secondly, you have to neglect the minor losses. So the numerical becomes very simple. If you neglect all the minor losses, you have to consider only the major losses. So it is capital H is equal to 4f1 L1 V1 square by 2 GD1 plus 4f2 L2 V2 square by 2 GD2 plus 4f3 will L3 V3 square by 2 GD3. And if you put the value of again V1, V2, V3, okay, that will already you have calculated, okay, from the given expressions, okay, you will get the value of v1, and v1 is coming now in this case 1.445 meters per second. And again from v1 you will calculate discharge q as area into velocity, and that is coming as 0.1021 meter cube per second, or 102.1 liter per second. So this was the numerical on pipes in series. Now let us see what do you mean by pipes in parallel. Pipes in parallel, already I have told you that if you want different discharge, okay, depending upon the application, then you are having the total discharge equal to the q1 plus q2. In this case the head remains same, or the loss of head is same, hf1 is equal to hf2, and you are making use of this loss of head remaining same for solving the numerical. If f1 is equal to f2, then L1 v1 square by 2 gd1 is equal to L2 v2 square by 2 gd2. Okay, so let us see the numerical for pipes in parallel. A main pipe divides into two parallel pipes, which again from one pipe, the length and diameter of the first pipe is 2000 meter and 1 meter respectively, while for second pipe 2000 meter and 0.8 meter. Find the rate of flow in each pipe, okay, for the parallel pipe. If total flow rate is given as 3 meter, coefficient of friction for each pipe is same, it is 0.005. So if you use the given data, okay, let us take q1 and q2 as the discharge across these two, that is q1 plus q2 is given as total 3 meters. So once you find q1, you will automatically find q2. So let us have the formula. 4f1 L1 v1 square by 2 gd1 is equal to 4f2 L2 v2 square by 2 gd2, and that is coming as v1 and v2. You are getting the expression between the relation between